But I think one of the most interesting stories related to the OpenAI and Microsoft using NVIDIA chips is Michael Burry went short NVIDIA today. He bought a lot of puts. So I'm not sure if that means very much in terms of how much impact he has on the market or how right he's been, even if you tracked him over the last several years. But what we do know is that he has a tremendous amount of patience to see his positions through. So I think that could be interesting. We'll keep an eye on how this all evolves after today and this apex, if you will, with all these big hyperscalers.
All right, so Michael Burry, you're talking about the guy behind The Big Short, if folks remember that. So, Amazon is an interesting case in point because a lot of focus now, Mish, is not so much on CAPEX and how fast or how much they're continuing to ramp, but how much of companies' cash flow, how much of cash flow, free cash flow companies are using to fund that CAPEX. And I'm not mistaken, in the case of Amazon, they're using probably more than 50%. Is that right? You probably got the numbers right at your fingertips.
Well, yeah, it is more than 50%. And if you put them all together in terms of CAPEX, the big guns, the big hyperscalers, you're talking about north of $800 billion altogether. So that, I mean, it's just a tremendous amount of money. Now, I don't think that that's an unsustainable type of situation because they have a ton of money. It's always going to be a question of how you want to look at it from a fundamental standpoint, and no one's going to deny the future of the fact that you've got these big gun companies buying up all these small companies, some of which may not even exist in a year from now, and AI in the future, and this race to capacity that everybody needs, along with the energy needs, of course. No one's going to deny that. But that's the fundamental side. There's always the side of how fatigued traders or investors get when they see the market as bifurcated as it is right now. And that's kind of, I think, where Michael Burry might be coming from, and also what we're watching too. Like, for example, Amazon, 250 is a pretty good number for it to hold after this move today. And if you look at NVIDIA, really, I would say 200 to 204 is a pretty good number to hold. So even if you were under a rock and didn't know all of the fundamentals and all of the future growth potential, I think you would have to look at those two areas to see if this can sustain right now.
Mish, talk to us a little bit more about NVIDIA, if you could. We headlined the fact that they're selling chips to the UAE, so that's a big deal for them. At the same time, though, overnight, we have the president saying, look, we're not going to be letting NVIDIA sell any Blackwell chips to China. And Jensen Huang himself has said, look, for now, that market is closed for us. In between the lines, though, nobody's talking about letting NVIDIA sell sort of sub-Blackwell chips. Folks have been talking about the B30A. That's going to be an interesting question to get an answer for.
Well, yeah, and just picking up on that whole theme about China and the deal that was just made over the weekend and where NVIDIA fits in. He's also said, Wang has also said that he's all in terms of the infrastructure in the United States, and that he wants to work primarily with the United States. So we'll see if that's certainly his word. And then with the China-U.S., again, controversy. Some people think that this is the start of a real turning point, almost like a peace agreement between the two countries, which would only be beneficial. And others say that all of the tariffs and all of the threats that we've seen from the Trump administration since January to the deal that he made over the weekend is really going back to where we were with China before all of this happened. So, there's so much to really unpack in this market right now. People are genuinely a bit confused.